Well, yes, I have a lot of people that come to me bringing me things when they don't understand what it is they've received, but their gut, something feels really off or wrong. And they know that they can approach me to say, what do you think? What do you think this is? How should we think about this? What should we look into? And that's because of my extensive experience, in all four directions, with people having to deal with, self-government negotiations, land claims negotiations, litigation, all of which they didn't even realize was underway. No one asked them. And so they know, of course, that my being former in-house Crown legal counsel for the Department of Indian and Northern Affairs, as it then was, and that my experience as a Crown lawyer was dedicated to areas like fiduciary duty, treaties, land claims, specific claims. I spent time seconded to specific claims west and provided legal advice on specific claims, for example. I also, at one point, for a period of time, was the only Canadian representative at the Nishka land claims negotiations. And that was during especially a focus on self-government. Now, while I can't share the specifics of, solicitor-client privilege, it says that if Canada is going to rely on one person when there's typically 50 people around the table, including many lawyers, and felt that I could handle that. In fact, we made incredible progress, I might add, while I was there. The other parties wanted me to keep on in that kind of role. You select someone who is considered to have a lot of experience in that area. So in terms of, and I'm really always very keen. I love the law, right? As a lawyer, I practiced for 10 years. Always need to know what I'm doing. I have never been one who just repeats what some other lawyer has done. So when I was moved from Revenue Canada, Customs, Taxation, and Excise over to Indian Affairs file, well, this was all new. So I really prepared myself. I delved into things. And quite frankly, I went through a bit of a personal crisis because, 8-9 years of university, all my experiences, I'd never heard of this stuff. And appreciate, in order for me to be able to bring myself up to speed, I have access to stuff that you don't get in universities, that you don't get just out in the public domain. This is all confidential, information. So you can't take away from my head what I came to know and learn and understand. And there was a time, in the early, sort of turn of the century, where many lawyers understood this stuff. But then, of course, we know that lawyers were prohibited risking, prison if they were to have clients retained dealing with these issues. So the way law works is, especially back in those earlier times, the senior lawyers train the junior lawyers. The senior lawyers pass on their knowledge and expertise in how to do these things. But if there's no money to be made, why would you do that anymore? So it cut off. So not only did residential schools cut off the knowledge that the Indigenous side understood about who they are, what they have, what they own, what their laws are, there was also this effort on the non-Indigenous side to say, well, lawyers will be taught something new, forget the old stuff about these are really treaties, that type of thing. And we'll go on to how we'll shape them to think about all this in more domestic role. So I'm probably the unique person who has had access to all of that. As well, I've been brought in by elders, now ancestors, and shown, not just reading about or asking my grandmother, I've been shown the operations of Indigenous governance, Indigenous nations. I've been brought in and made commitments to protect in ceremony that's, over 2,000 years old, that no white person has ever even seen or knew existed. But they protected those ceremonies, their laws, their governance. They protected all of that in a very careful way. So I'm, I understand how provinces work. I've provided advice to Northwest Territories. So I've been around all of this. It's pretty hard to fool me in terms of what's actually being done and why. Because Canada just can't wing things. Provinces and the federal government, they can't just do what they might want to do, like you or me as an individual can make choices. They are bound by things like what's the established practice and policy? How can we approach things? And currently, there's really only 3 ways that Canada can negotiate anything. And one is when there's been a specific claim submitted, and that's done only, that's a matter of policy, part of the land claims policy, that can only be done by a chief and council for a band. There's no provincial party. And if that thing goes through to settlement, then involved in that is you're releasing everything and the people have to vote because it's a surrender. Most times in those specific claims, those lands are still reserve lands, or they've been unlawfully taken, so they're not valid in law. So those specific claims are aimed to make it lawful so that everybody whose interests built upon that now have a sturdy foundation, if you will. But there's no province involved. And then you have litigation, which obviously can be settled between the parties or among the parties. That doesn't require any vote by the people either, by Indigenous people, because it's only a matter of who's starting that litigation, who the parties of the litigation are. Class action, different, because the judge plays a role, a protective role there, and still no vote to the people, but the judge will decide, is that fair compensation? This is a good, decent settlement. Then we have the biggie, that is so busy underway, but it's like a swear word. It's a dirty word, land claim, final land claim settlement. So the mythology is to call it, it's a modern day treaty, and it's something unique. Everything's unique. Well, Canada's not out there doing one-ofs all over the place. What's unique is this is a particular band or tribal council or whatever body of Indians, the body of Aboriginal group, they call it. Whoever approaches Canada and says, we want to do this deal. Okay, sure. There's nothing in any of that says, how do we do this in accordance with, to make it lawful in accordance with the governing laws of the people themselves. So the peoples are kept out. And this Manitoulin project that was brought to my attention not long ago is one of these desperately, we won't call it impacting treaties, we won't call it a land claim. It's just something unique and different in an out-of-court settlement. Well, yeah, technically, yeah, it's an out-of-court settlement, but can we please have the statement of claim? Can we see everything? But anyhow, so giving you an idea of not only my background, but why people come to me is because I can kind of surf through all this, and even through a muddle of crap designed to either get people disinterested. Oh, I can't understand that. Well, I can't either. Some of the stuff I've got with all my background in digging through it, I don't know what they're trying to say. And there is no reason for that, right? I could craft a 1-pager saying clearly what's been underway, where we're at, and what's left to do, and why we're contacting you or filling you in now. There's very easy ways to do this, but it suggests that these efforts to get it in place, who can understand when it's not aligning with what the reality is, with what the provinces can do or not do, what Canada, the feds can do and not do, and where are the people in all this. This big effort to cut the people out is why so many people are saying, Janice, do you know what's going on here? Because no one's telling them. Now, it shouldn't be my role, but I am very well suited and positioned in order to say, here's what it looks like. And then, to go further to help them to not panic about it, and say, where do we go from here? How do we protect ourselves? Because we don't want to do that. We never said we wanted to do that. But yet you have, one case, a recent thing just came to me, 3 men saying, that basically there's no nations, there's no treaties, it's like, wow, so how to think about that. Yeah, I've been all over the place in terms of the various parties. So I know how they think, how they approach it, what their limits are. And that goes in terms of companies too, trying to do things. Where's their so-called certainty? Well, it's not relying on all this stuff that's happening. That's just trying to band-aid and make everything look nice, but it's not. And ultimately, it's going to cause us so many more problems down the road, is my prediction.